I'll start with my narrative then, for everyone. My narrative is there's a 1940s man, and he's like a detective, and he's sitting inside an office, typing away at a typewriter. And it starts from the outside, like a window, like blinds, so you can see in between the blinds as he's typing. And then as the credits come in, it fades, all of it fades in and then fades, like it fades out and then fades in into like, what's it called, like the title, and then it starts like, and then it's inside as the title comes up. So you can still see him typing away. But this time it's a bit more like scattered, a bit more like urgent, his typing. And then as he's typing, you see him just lean back for a second, and it comes up as a close-up of him just pulling down his tie. But you never see his full face. You only see half of his face when he ever does anything. Okay? And so what happens is he does that, and then he goes back, and then you see a close-up of him typing again. And then in comes the voiceover of, like, she was a rare thing. She was pretty as a flower, but strong as a bull. And then he gives a like wry smile. You know what wry smile is, right? It's like she was good, but she was good at playing the game kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And there's no voiceover as he's smiling because it's a close-up of just the bottom of his face. And then he goes back to typing, and that's a close-up again. And then as he leans in next to him for a glass and then the bottle of whiskey, and as he pours it in, he's saying things like I never saw anything like that about her before tonight, and things like that. And then you see him putting it down. It's a close-up again, and then you have a close-up of him just like shakily taking a sip out of fear and then putting it down. And then he goes back to typing, and he's like, if this is the only thing that's going to happen tonight, is that this letter's going to make it out. And then he takes it, he rips it from the typewriter, and as he folds it, there's a knock at the door, and there's lights coming in, showing the shadow of her in the doorframe. And then, as the door opens, you see a close-up of her legs and her feet walking in with a swishy dress with little kitten heels. And then it goes to a close-up of half of her face, and as you see the half of her face, she takes a long drag of a cigarette, and then you just see her go, "Hi, honey." And then it goes up to a full-blown shot of her with a gun in the other hand, and then she says, "It's nothing personal." And then it cuts to black, and then you hear a gunshot.
That's pretty good.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I actually think that's pretty good. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got some music that I'd like to... This is the music that I would like to incorporate into my opening sequence. I'd just like to know if like saxophones would be appropriate for film noir as well. So if you could tell me that afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's part of the music that I want. And as you heard, there were saxophones in there. Do you think that would be appropriate for film noir?
I would say it would.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it has that. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
like any of you go.
Oh, at the beginning, it had I guess it had that mysterious element to it. And when the saxophone starts, I think it suits the general vibe of the music, the film.
I can see that music fitting well with what you said.
With the storyline.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Fits well. Right. But is the storyline good? Do you think it builds
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
suspense? Does it grab your attention?
Yeah, because it's like, if she loves him and if they're together, because I'm assuming they're together, they're together,
Yeah. Yeah.
then why is she shooting him? Like, you don't just shoot someone.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the thing. Are they together? Are they not?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So it establishes
So,
an enigma, which is good. It's meant
Is
to be,
that
so-
do you think that's a good enigma to give the audience at the first point?
Yeah.
Yep, it definitely builds up the plot, I guess.
The plot.
because
Yeah.
Okay.
It sets up that why is she trying to kill him?
Yeah.
So it's just sets up like who she is.
Mm.
Yeah. And are they actually a couple, or is it there like a different story between them or something?
I also like the fact that we don't really know what the guy looks like.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's good.
Okay. I'd also like to know, is the music too dark, or is it not dark enough for the storyline that is being given? Is it
I think it's good.
gritty enough, or is it just right? Do you think it is?
Yeah.
I think it fits.
Does because I guess would you say that there's like a hint of romance involved between them? Because that music kind of fits that as well.
Yeah.
So it's romantic enough, but it's not.
It's-
But it's not too romantic
Yeah.
that
So
it's.
it's got like a hint of mystery in it as well.
Yeah.
So it's
And
good.
okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just and considering that the only props in it is going to be the desk and the door, mainly those two areas, do you think that is too like bland of a background, or is it okay? Do you think there should be like a coat hanger in the background with a coat or something, or umbrella stand or something like that to bring it
Is
more
it
to
his
life?
office?
It's his
I
office.
suppose you could try and make it a bit more personal, like
Yeah.
have a stand or something,
Have a stand,
or
yeah.
like a chest of drawers or like a cabinet or something,
Okay.
so it looks more like an office than just like a room with like a desk and a door in it, because that just looks a bit like, you know.
But I
Mhm.
think if you leave the desk empty and just have the typewriter on it, that'll really draw attention to it.
Yeah.
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 Just keep it nice and simple, but
Make it
Still
look
set up
like lived in.
the-
Just add
Yeah.
something to like the background, but
Yeah.
keep the foreground like really plain.
Like some bookshelf.
Yeah.
Like like chests.
Yeah.
Keep them plain in the background, or
But
keep.
like, keep them plain in the background. but
Plain in the
like
background.
are in the background, so it looks like it's lived in, and it looks like it is actually.
Plain but lived in.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Plain, but lived in.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. What do you think could be improved? Do you think there's anything that could use like a slight tweaking, like the storyline, or I don't know, maybe something to do with the angles of the doors, or maybe like having too many close-ups, or having. What do you
I would
think?
say storyline wise, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know about I guess the props you're gonna use. I would say I'd add a little more, but keep it simplistic and plain.
So a little bit more props, but just for the background, just to make it a bit more personal. Okay.
And how are you thinking of doing like only showing half of her face?
Half of her face, like just having a zoomed up camera of half of her face, but having her have it out like
Okay.
that. So then it's
Yeah.
drawn to the cigarette as well as half of her face, and then having to the side, so you can still see the cigarette from half of her face, then being like,
Okay.
and then be like, "Hi, honey," and then it cuts directly to her having like focused in on the face and then focusing in on the gun, because then it's like, oh, she's being really nice, then boom, focusing on the gun. That's my general point, but
This could just be me, but you have half of his face.
Yeah.
And half of her face.
yeah.
And just, like, seems a bit, I don't know, is it just me?
No.
Is that-
You
or
see,
is it-
you see her full face
Oh, right, okay.
once in
Okay,
that
That's fine then.
bit. Yeah.
That's fine then.
So with his face, you don't see it because it's sort of creates an enigma of
I get
who
that.
is he, and then with her, it's kind of like a who is she, but then because
see who she
because you see who she is, you know that it's now that she's now the one that's going to carry on the story.
Yeah,
That's what.
okay.
If you'd like to see the type of style that I want, it's with a jacket like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
If it fits.
Yeah, if it's the genre and like the era of when it is, like so this is the 1940s, which I want to be setting it in because of the typewriter and everything like
Yeah.
that. And this is the jackets and stuff for the men. So
And the
it will,
hat as
yeah,
well.
and the hat will have the fedora on. It will have the fedora on, and there will be shadow, so you can't see. That's why you can't see half of his face
That's
because of
good.
the fedora.
Yeah,
And so yeah.
okay, that's good.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to me.